Maggie Mae.
Join us as we follow the moon. Join us today as we travel throughout the state of Nevada. We're going to start up in the top part of the state at Fallon and work our way south. So come along with us and enjoy the road trip.
You won't believe what we're going to see.
And she's right. You will not believe what we're going to see. This is so diverse. We're going to start at the Grimes Point Archaeological Site up in Fallon. This is kind of the hotbed of petroglyphs. And it was not a disappointment. Very easy trail, very easy path, and immediately you start to see the markings on the rocks.
They are so cool.
This one, some of them are a little bit larger.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty crazy looking petroglyphs that you really wonder, they're trying to tell us something. What was it?
And you get up really close to them. Some of the places, they were a long ways off. We had to really search for, but those are, look at that.
These were standing right over them.
You wonder if it was just somebody's kid scribbling.
This was a short loop trail, and when you get on the way back, you start to go through some of the same area that you did on the way out, but you're seeing the rocks from the other side and you're finding petroglyphs that you missed on the way back.
Yeah.
So it was really, really worthwhile. And as you can see, they're beautiful. They're so creative. They're so large. And these are big boulders. These are not just like little rocks laying around.
Cute little guy. I think there's a horse on that one.
The stories they could tell.
Yeah.
That gives you an idea of the size of them when you put a person next to them.
Yeah. And it's so amazing to see them sitting right there. Now these little holes.
Dimpled like a golf ball.
Yeah.
When we left there, we went through an area that reminded us almost of the salt flats. And out in the distance, you can see the sand.
Yeah.
And this one has a special story from Cathy.
It sure does, because the last time I saw it, it was on the other side of the highway.
Sand Mountain. This is really neat, and the winds will shift over time. And you saw this years back.
About 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
About 50 years ago. Wow.
And it was on the opposite side of the highway at that time. And it has blown.
And that road you just saw, that's a road going right down to it. They didn't used to have that, but it was on the other road where you came up to that. So it's a long ways.
That is BLM land too, so there was a lot of dispersed camping out there and people enjoying getting out in the sand with their four wheels.
Yeah.
So, now this is actually off the dash cam of the motorhome. We passed that, and so we had to come back when we were a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
And see this in a little bit more detail. I didn't know about the world famous Clown Motel.
I didn't know we were on the highway that it was on. I'm driving by and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I know this place.
And you know it from?
Actually, I know it from ghost stories, because the place is haunted. And the story is that the people bought this place. Their father is in that graveyard right there. It's right next door. And he collected clowns. So they bought this hotel, and each of the rooms are decorated in clown motif. And there's all of his collection. There's none of it for sale.
Yeah, if any of you think a clown is creepy, think about what 10,000 clowns would do to you.
And there's vintage ones in there. There's really old ones. You can tell just they're beautiful, you know, in their artistic form. And some of them are creepy.
Yeah.
And I believe it was free.
Yes,
Yeah, it was
it's
free to
free.
go in.
You can stop in, take pictures, whatever you like. We came on up into town just a couple of miles from there, which we've heard Tonopah or we've heard Tonopah. So one of the others probably right. Some of these pronunciations are difficult in Nevada.
And they were both on the TV. So, you know, when they're telling the weather. So.
But this Mizpah Hotel has also a haunted hotel, has also been on the TV programs. And in that parking area that you saw between the buildings, if you look straight back there behind it, that is like a mining museum up there. So there's lots to do in this little town. Just south of there, you'll come to the Gemfield rock hounding site. And this is back a gravel road, but as you all know, we don't have a high clearance vehicle. We got back there fine, no problem. That was not a bad road. But you can hunt for different types of gems. They show you a map of where to find different types of gems on the property, and they're $1 a pound. And you go up into the next town, which is Goldfield, and there's a store up there where you can pay for your rocks that you've mined there. So if you want to do a little mining while you're in Nevada, it's the perfect place to do it.
It was very cool.
Speaking of the next town up the line, Goldfield, Nevada, this is actually the next town south, I should say. But this is a very neat, old Western town.
That is still being lived in. In the buildings. There were some
that
buildings
was
were
being
empty.
renovated there.
Yeah.
Some of them are just as they stand, but are being used. This I thought was cool. Miners Camp. Guys, look at this. Those are nice pull-through, full hookup spaces. I love it. I have a place I want to stay next
That's
trip
right.
through. That's actually their old train depot. All these mine towns had to have train depots.
Yeah.
And this gives you an idea of what you're looking for with these mine shafts. And this place is just incredible. It's so old and it's still being used. It's just so authentic. Look at this steam train down here. And when you look out across the hillside, you'll see mine shafts sticking up all over the place out there. That was a very busy mining town. I guess hence the name Goldfield.
Yeah.
And what do you need right outside the minefield? The saloon, of
That's
course,
right.
the first thing you come into.
That's right. Been working hard all day.
But everything in this little town is so cool. And we probably spent 30, 45 minutes just driving through the little streets of this town.
There's that shop for that, wasn't it? Yeah, for the gold.
Yes. And
Field,
the
yeah.
little art cars place is right there beside it. And there's some beautiful buildings in there.
Yeah. It's very small. The town is very small.
It's probably not more than 3 or 4 blocks long and a couple of blocks wide.
Yeah.
The old Shell
I
station.
know that one got me.
I love that. And this was really neat. Just as you're going south out of town, there's a curve there in the road, and that was right there. Now, this is one, no lie, I'd never heard of. International Car Forest. Cathy came up with this. This is kind of, to me, like Cadillac Ranch on steroids.
Or something.
Yeah, yeah. But you can see out there on the horizon what is about to become the car forest.
And it's not just one or two.
Oh no, it's tons of them. I haven't seen a geostorm probably since a year after they came out.
Oh.
There's one down in the ground, as are quite a few of them as you look out across there.
And there's filled with artwork.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a very artful place. It's not the only one we came across in Nevada, but this is also really cool. This is the Bonnie Claire Ghost Town. When you first get there, this first little building, I got some shots here of the inside. I took one step in very carefully because there's floorboards missing and
you don't know what's living underneath.
that's
there.
right.
Yeah.
Old electrical switches, and that's the back of it. Then you can start to see some more ruins. There were a lot more ruins than what I have here on the video.
Yeah, when you walk down that little road right there, there's foundations for a whole bunch of others. And then I don't know what that...
I kind of thought it was like something for farming because there was some deep pits, but I think it was mining.
I think it was.
And across that prairie over to the mountains. This is another one of those little things that's a little bit different, the Goldwell Open Air Museum. This is all artwork set out in the middle of the desert. I like that one, the miner with the penguin following him.
Yeah.
Those were made by putting cloth in plaster of Paris over people, and then as it dried, it was removed from them. They were fiberglass coated. There's the Last Supper.
And they're just sitting out there in the desert.
Mm-hmm. That was put in 1984 and still looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I like the labyrinth.
Yeah.
And those are the poles where the road is as you come in and out. They've got wheel covers on them and exhaust pipes. And
The big surprise.
just beyond that,
Yeah.
on the same road, is the Rhyolite Ghost Town. That ghost town, I've seen videos of it before. It's massive, it's extensive. Every one of these ruins from the ghost town have a sign out in front, and it tells you one was the bank, one was a hotel, one was a saloon.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting to go the length of the road and see how this town was all put together. You can still get into those ruins if you want. Some of them are not real stable looking, so it's definitely an at your own risk. But
There was also ground level foundations around here too that were off on side streets.
the bank, which I think is what we just passed, is, they said, the most photographed building from a ghost town in the state of Nevada.
This was my favorite.
Yeah, at the back of this was their train depot. And it has been fenced for its protection, but wow, is this really cool.
And it was also used as a casino.
Yes, it's still in real nice looking condition.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
And there's a caboose setting out behind it. They do have a couple historical plaques out there. That gives you an idea of what it looked like back in the day. An even better shot right there. That was after it became the Ghost Casino. And from the train station looking back out, going the opposite direction on our left-hand side of the car, those are more foundations back in this part as we start to go on back out. But yeah, there are some more ruins on that side too that we'll come up to. And out of all the buildings that are there, I love the front on that one, but out of all the buildings that are there, there's one that is definitely not a ruin. It still looks like the day it was put up. That is made out of Coke bottles. All those little round things you see are the bottoms of Coke bottles. And it's still standing and in great shape. Some of the smaller buildings, maybe not so much, but again, this is one of those things that you can drive through, walk through, spend a day at. I mean, it's an amazing site. It really lets you go back in history.
always come away from there feeling like I was born in the wrong era.
As long as it wasn't the wrong solar system.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Area 51. There's aliens throughout the store. And instead of Zoltar, it's an alien to tell your fortune. And remember, we're in Nevada. There is an Alien 51, Area 51 brothel back there.
Yes.
We didn't go inside there. Now, next up, Tule Springs fossil beds. This is just minutes outside of downtown Las Vegas. And these fossil beds, they have found mammoth bones. They have found camel bones, which I had no idea we had camels running around this country. But
we read about camels one other time. It may have been around the same area that they had. Oh, Quartzsite.
yes, that's right.
That's right.
But this is a great little area. They've got 3 different trails. We chose the shortest one, which was just over a mile. And beautiful scenery. No fossils that we saw. I'm sure that they've been found and have been curated. But one thing to keep in mind if you're going to be in the Las Vegas area, by the 1st of 2024, I would imagine this will be open, the Ice Age Fossil State Park, very near where that was. And this is supposed to absolutely be amazing. Just being completed right now, but we wanted to include it. Now, this is another one of those free, quirky little roadside attractions, the 7 Magic Mountains.
It's so colorful.
It has a huge parking lot. You park, and I mean a lot of cars, a lot of people, as you'll see. This is an art installation, but all totally free. And there are the 7 Magic Mountains. I believe 35 foot tall. They're enormous, and you can see them as you're coming down the road from quite a distance. Next was the We Thump Joshua Tree Wilderness. This is home, so they claim, to some of the largest Joshua trees in existence. And as you're going down the road, you'll start to see them. And this goes for a span of maybe, 5 or 6 miles?
Yeah.
There's also a dirt road that was more than what the car would take.
Yeah.
So we just stayed on the paved road and a couple of these pullouts. But you'll see there's some pretty good sized Joshua trees in through here.
And we really didn't realize Joshua trees were up this far.
No, that totally surprised us. There's Cathy underneath that one to give you an idea of how big some of these are. They truly are tree size. And I'm sure if you went back that dirt road, there's, I think, 7 miles of the dirt road.
I think so, yeah.
And there's, I'm sure, some huge ones back in there too. Well, next up, we're at the Floyd Lamb Park. This also is in Las Vegas, and it's actually right around the corner from Tule Springs. Cathy found they had peacocks, so that was the determining factor in going.
If you know me.
And they were all over. But the park itself was a great surprise to us. They have this whole area. This was their water tower. There are historic buildings throughout the property. But this was the divorce ranch. And at the time, Nevada had some of the least strict divorce laws. You had to be a resident for 6 weeks and you could file for divorce. So people would go there, stay there for 6 weeks, get divorced, and off they go.
Well, it's so funny looking at the pictures. They look like quite the happy family sitting there waiting for their 7 days to be up.
They might have been excited, I don't know. This is an adobe hut that was on the property. And it's a full-fledged ranch, full-fledged farm. There were cattle stables, horse stables. It was quite a working ranch.
Mm-hmm.
At the rear of the property are 4 beautiful lakes, and one lake feeds the next, which feeds the next, and so on. So they're all evidently from the same water source, but it's really, really neat.
I think I saw people fishing.
Yeah. And there were ducks.
Ducks.
And there were geese.
As well as those peacocks.
That's right. So another great day.
That's right.
And as our day ends, we want to thank you for coming along and exploring beautiful Nevada with us. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. If you've liked the video, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the notification bell.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.